welcome to today's class. Welcome to my channel. This is the King's Tutor. Okay, if you're just joining us for the first time, kindly subscribe to our channel. Click on the notification bell to know when new video comes in. Okay, today we want to see accounting, and we want to see the account of non-profit making organization. Now, these are most of the topics that give students of accounting issues from the O level to the tertiary institution, those in year 1 and all that. Okay, so we want to see what is account of non-profit making organization. Now, from the word non-profit making organization, it refers to those firms that do not have profit making as their main objective. That is, they are established not to make profit, but to render different services to its members. Not that if profit comes from their trading activity, they wouldn't take it. Okay? But the essence of their establishment is not to make profit. The same way we have a profit venture in which the reason for establishing them is to make profit. And the same way we also have those that are established not to make profit. Okay, so the same way profit venture prepares their financial statement, the same way they prepare records in order to record their financial transaction. That is the same way that non-profit making firms they prepare records to record their financial transactions. Okay, now one of the records prepared by non-profit making organization is the receipt and payment account. The same way, for profit-making organization, it is called the cash book. It is called the cash book. Now, the receipt and payment account and the cash book, they are the same thing. It is just the nomenclature, the name that differs. Okay? Now, the receipt and payment account is one of the accounts or the records prepared by non-profit making organization. Now, what is receipt and payment account? Now, this is the account in which you record all items received and all items paid out. You debit what you receive and you credit what is being paid out. The same way you do for your cash book. Okay? Now, this is the format. The receipt and payment account. Receipt, all items will be debited, while all items that you paid will be credited. Okay? We have the balance structure, the subscription donations, and all income they receive will be debited, and all expenses they made, payments they made will be credited. The same way with your cash flow. Okay? Now, but here we do not record accruals and prepayment. Okay? We just record the normal items of each transaction, but accruals and prepayment are not to be recorded in the receipt and payment account. So that is one of the accounts or records prepared by the non-profit making organization. The other one is the income and expenditure. Now, remember, for your profit venture, we have what we call the profit or loss account. And what is the profit or loss account? This is an account that is prepared to know the profit of a venture or the loss made. Okay? The same way, these non-profit making organizations prepare income and expenditure account. Now, what is the income and expenditure account for? It records all items they receive as income and all expenditure they made. The same principle with the profit or loss account, the same thing, just that the name changes. Okay? Now, this is the all the income and you debit all the expenditure. Now, you take the items of the expenditure, the payments, you post it here as the expenditure, excluding those payments made on fixed assets. They are not expenditure. Okay? It is not all payments that are expenditure. Okay? So you can take the buy expenses, the rent, the postage, or you will not take the equipment. Equipment and is a fixed asset. So it will not be posted as expenditure. Okay, so that is the income and expenditure account. Now, the difference between the income and expenditure will either give you a surplus or a deficit. Now, to give you a deficit, if the expenditure, that is the expenses made, is more than the income, the balancing figure will become a deficit. It will give you a surplus when the income is more than the expenditure. That is another record being prepared, the income and expenditure. Now, another one you should take cognizance of is the accumulated fund. And what is the accumulated fund? For a profit venture, it is known as capital. Okay? You remember your capital you used to prepare balance sheet. That is what you use. It is termed here, accumulated fund. Okay? It is the same thing, just that there is difference in the name. In some questions, you might be given what? The accumulated fund. But once it is not given, you have to find it. Now, how do you find this? You use the word statement of affairs. Now, what is statement of affairs? It is called an abridged balance sheet or a summarized balance sheet. The same way you have a balance sheet in which you have your assets at the right hand side and then you have liabilities at the left hand side. Okay, now this is the format of the statement of affairs. You have your fixed assets, you have your current assets, then you have what's called liability. Okay, now the assets minus the liability will give you what? The accumulated fund. The accumulated fund is the essence of preparing this, so it becomes the balancing figure. It becomes the balancing figure in this. Okay, so you add up your asset, deduct your liabilities from it. The balancing figure will give you accumulated fund, and this is what to ensure that you have what you post in the balance sheet. Okay. Another one is the balance sheet. The balance sheet follows the same process and format you do for your profit venture. Okay. Another one is the bar trading account. Now, in some of these clubs, because most of these non-profit making organizations are clubs, okay, some of them, most time, after contributing their money, they might tend to trade them so that they will have more profit. Now, once they trade them, it means that you have to prepare a bar trading account. Now, we already know what is bar trading account. Remember your trading profit or loss account for a profit venture, where you have opening stock, add purchases. That is the same way. Okay, the trading account has the same way. Okay, so you should take cognizance of the receipt and payment account, the income and expenditure, accumulated fund, balance sheet, and bar trading account. Okay. Now, there are some things I want you to note. Some of now, in preparing accounts for non-profit making organization, now you should ensure that you treat your adjustment, that is the items under additional information, properly. I would advise, while solving accounts for non-profit making organization, start with your additional information. Adjust all the things that is needed to be adjusted. Okay? For instance, items you will see there might be an accrued income, prepaid income, accrued expenses, and prepaid expenses. What do I mean by that? For instance, one of the income of the organization is subscription. Now, what is subscription? This is a periodic payment made by members of the club to the club to ensure that they still remain as members. It is done periodically. Okay? The same way that you belong to a club or an organization, you make membership dues. That is what we call subscription, to ensure that your membership is still valid. Most time, members, they owe. They don't pay as at when due. Okay? Once they don't pay as at when due, it becomes owing to the club. And sometimes, some members that have more than enough, they pay in advance. And once they pay in advance, it means they are making payment in advance. Remember, this subscription is an income to the club. Okay? Now, another thing you should take cognizance of is the accrued income, accrued expenses, then the prepaid income and the prepaid expenses. Now, all the things you will see under the additional information will fall under this. It is either it's accrued income, accrued expenses, prepaid income, and prepaid expenses. They fall under there. Okay? For instance, what if they say subscription due or owing? Now, first thing you will do is split it into two. You will say subscription. Subscription is due. Now, what do you ask yourself? What is subscription? Subscription is an income. What is due? Due means owing, accruals. So it means this is accrued income. Now, that is it, accrued income. Now, what are accrued income? These are what income in which services have been rendered, but what income has not been received. Okay? We have ways of treating this in the profit or loss account and also in this account for non-profit making organization. Okay? Another one you can see is the accrued expenses, prepaid income and prepaid expenses. What you have to do whenever you see something like this, split it into two. Identify if that item is an income or an expenses. Then you know if it's prepaid or accruals. Now, what are accruals? These are items in which services have been rendered but payment has not been made. You are owing. Okay, another name for accruals can be arrears, owing, due. It may appear like that. But prepayment, we can have prepaid expenses, payment in advance. Okay, so for instance, let me teach you how to represent and do the additional information should the case you see it. Now, for the current year, take cognizance of this, please. Let's see, for the current, then the past / future year. Now, one thing I will tell you about this, and in accounting generally, date is very important. Very, very important. Okay? Now, for this now, accrued income or anything that is accrued, for the current year, we add it to the one already existing in the trial balance or the given value that is already existing. That is the one in the additional information that is accrued, either income or expenses. What you do for the current year is that you add. That is the rule. And the same thing for prepaid either income or expenses. What you do for the current year, you what? You less. That is if we are talking about the current year. But if it is now a previous year that's passed or a future year that I'm making reference of, it is accrued. What you will do reverse of what you would have done in the current year. Now, the reverse of add is what? Less. And the opposite of add is less. The same thing applies to prepaid. If it is not for the current year, if it is for the past or a future year, what you will do is to also what? To add. This is the rule, the simple rule. For the current year, all accruals, either income or expenses you add, or prepayment, either income or expenses you want, less from the given value. Okay? But for if it's for past year that I'm making reference of, or the future year that is not the current, you do opposite of what you're supposed to do for the current year. So you should just take cognizance of the current, then you know that if it's not the current, what you are doing is supposed to be opposite of what you do in the current year. Okay? And one thing I forgot to say, I talked about, is the accumulated fund. Now, while preparing your statement of affairs, please, while doing that, you use only items at the beginning of the year. That's why I said in accounting, date is very important. You don't use items at the end. For instance, if you want to calculate the accumulated fund, you'll be given 2 dates. Use the one at the beginning. All assets at the beginning, liabilities at the beginning, to get your accumulated fund. Okay? Or at starting from the first to get the accumulated fund. Okay? So take cognizance of the receipt and payment. We've talked about receipt and payment to send. It is it has a similarity with the cash book. You record what you receive and you credit and you debit what you receive and you credit what you want to pay. Okay? But in that account, in the receipt and payment account, accruals and prepayment will not be recorded there. Another one is the income and expenditure. We said it has similarity with what profit or loss account. Okay, but in that income and expenditure, that is where you start posting those items you have done adjustment. That is when you start what? Posting them there. That's where you start posting them there, reflecting it. So one thing I advise students is, please do the adjustment first before you start, so that when you've started posting in your income and expenditure, your work will be very neat and you wouldn't forget that those items needed adjustment. Okay. Another one is the accumulated fund. I've talked about it, and then the balance sheet and the bank trading account. Okay. Now, for students preparing for different level of exam, if it is WAEC or 100 level, all that. Now, 3 ways in which a question might arise from account for non-profit making organization is: the first one, you might be given a question, a generalized question, either from a trial balance or so, and you're asked to prepare the receipt and payment account. You have to prepare the receipt and payment account and income and expenditure account and balance sheet. Remember, if you're preparing balance sheet, you will ensure that you know if you have an accumulated fund so that you can prepare it. If you don't have accumulated fund, if it was not given a question, that means you have to prepare a statement of affairs. Okay, but if it was given, you just put it as your capital there. Okay, so it means that the first way, in my opinion, I give you data, then I give you data to prepare receipt and payment, to prepare income and expenditure, and also balance sheet. Now, the second way a question might arise from this, the question might come from an already existing receipt and payment account. It is already existing receipt and payment account. Now, they are not asking you from that receipt and payment account, they give us a question. They are asking you to prepare income and expenditure account and balance sheet. That's the second way it might come. The question might come from there. You say to prepare income and expenditure and what? And the balance sheet. Okay. While the third one is when the club that is involved, the non-profit making firm that is involved, they are into a trading activity. What they will do is that they will ensure that you prepare a bar trading. I give you a question to prepare a bar trading account, then you prepare income and expenditure, then you prepare balance sheet. These are the 3 ways the question might come from this. The first one, you'll be given a question either from a trial balance or a generalized question. You prepare a receipt and payment account, you prepare income and expenditure, and you prepare what? Balance sheet. That's the first way. Or the second way, you might be given a question that is coming from an already existing receipt and payment, and they are asking you to prepare income and expenditure and what? Balance sheet. Or the third way, they might give you a question: if that non-profit making has done a trading activity, they will ask to prepare their trading account, their income and expenditure, and the balance sheet. Okay. I said earlier on, the trading account looks the same way as the trading profit loss account. There's a trading account, opening stock, and purchases, and all that. So in the next video, we'll bring out a question on how to solve this, the typical question. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe to this video. Let me know which topic you would want me to take. Okay? Help those that are in writing WAEC, JAM, those in the 100 level. Share this video, let it go viral so they know what is happening here. Okay? Thank you very much. See you in the next class.